This is for you.
All right.
Vic Fangio said that he deserves another year in Denver. Do you agree with that?
I do believe that, truthfully. Vic Fangio, this season specifically, has been amazing, or at least coached up an excellent defense. And his strength is defense. This season, we're, I think, right now, number one in terms of points per game, sixth in yards. We've let up the fewest touchdowns, rushing touchdowns this season. We've let up the fifth fewest yards for passing yards. Vic Fangio has done his job for what he runs and what he specializes in. Vic Fangio has done more than his job right now as it currently stands. We need offensive talent, and by offensive talent, I mean a quarterback that can actually elevate the play of a Jerry Jeudy, who I am supremely high on. Courtland Sutton, who we've seen this season take a huge step back, and I don't think that it's because of his ACL, because he has shown me that there's been flashes this season where Courtland Sutton can be great or has been great. It's been a while. We need a quarterback that's going to get him the ball accurately and down the field.
I thought Drew Lock had a good game.
Drew Lock did have a good game. I do believe that also. I just think that I need it consistently. And I need a quarterback that's not going to be scared to throw the ball. And whether Drew Lock was scared or not
so
last
week. Do you think he's scared?
I mean,
I feel like, if anything, it's the opposite.
I don't know, man. I feel like you're pressing, and that being scared. Pressing is being scared. You're trying to do much. You're scared. I need a quarterback that's calm, that has been in this situation, that knows what's up. I'm not blaming Vic for our offensive woes. Offensively, our run game has been excellent. When both Javonte and Melvin Gordon have, I forget the stat off the top of my head. When they rush for over, when I think each of them rush for, or they have more than 15 carries each, we've never lost. We haven't lost this year when both of them have over 15 touches. I'm weary on the number of carries, but I know it's one of those numbers that, let me know, Joel.
I'll try to find it.
That being said, until we get a quarterback, because that's ultimately not on him. That's on John Elway, who hasn't been able to do it for years. Since Peyton Manning has left, we've gone through 10 different quarterbacks, and none of them have been able to do the job. Teddy Bridgewater has by far and away done the best job, and I want to give him all the praise in the world. Teddy, you were excellent this season. But he's not the quarterback to take us to that next height that we could get to with this amazing defense. We saw what Peyton Manning did, who everyone loves to criticize, that he was washed, that he got backpacked by a defense. Well, we don't have the caliber defense that we had when we were in the Super Bowl in 2016, but we have a highly ranked defense this season, and if we had a passable quarterback, we'd be winning games. We had the number one seed in the AFC with Brock Osweiler. We need someone that could come in and be more, that can elevate the players that we have already. And I think that needs to be the main primary focus going into this next season. If we have to trade 3 first-round picks for a Russell Wilson, for Aaron Rodgers is going to be free agent, so let's not talk about him. Deshaun Watson, we don't know about him, and I know that it's iffy to talk about Deshaun Watson nowadays. If everything clears up with him, if not, who knows? But I'm more than willing to throw the 3 first-round picks at Deshaun Watson as well. This is the piece that we're missing. What do we need draft picks for? We already have the defensive talent. We have the offensive talent. We paid Sutton. Melvin Gordon's going to be a free agent. We don't necessarily need Melvin Gordon. Our offensive line's passable. Javonte Williams is going to be a top 10 back next season if he has the backfield to himself. I know that. We need a quarterback that's going to elevate our play, and if it's costing us draft picks, so be it. Goodbye.
You want to go full Rams?
The Rams had the think about it. When was the last time the Rams had a first-round pick? It's been years.
Jared Goff, I think.
That was their last first-round pick.
I think so.
And that's one of their worst draft picks.
Because they had Ramsey they traded 2 firsts for, and they had Stafford they traded 2 firsts for.
Vic Fangio, 7-9 his first season, 5-11 last season, 7-8 this year. Defensive ranks in terms of points from his first year to now, 10th, 25th, 1st. Defensive ranks in terms of yards from his first year to this year, 12th, 21st, 6th. So the defense has improved under him. He is one of the more brilliant defensive minds in football. Brandon Staley, that's where he got his scheme from. Like, his scheme is used around the league. Joe Barry with the Packers, his scheme is used around the league. So this is a brilliant defensive-minded guy. But he's 1-21 in games when trailing at halftime. He's 5-11 against the AFC West. And Pat Shurmur is not looking like the best offensive coordinator hire.
He's not.
Now, Drew, I want to ask you this because before the season, when Teddy Bridgewater was named as the starter, you weren't high on it. So looking back at it now, would you have done it differently?
I still stand firm on what I said. I feel like what I said was absolutely spot on. We know what Teddy is. We know Teddy's ceiling. He showed that. We weren't any better than what I was expecting. We weren't any worse than what I was expecting. I thought we could be a playoff team with the team we had. Teddy had us in that type of position.
But are you a bit
my concern?
Are you a bit upset that the Broncos chose to win with Teddy, have a limited ceiling, rather than develop Drew Lock and see what he is?
I'm not because what happened, what I wanted to see when Drew Lock came in, he showed. If Drew Lock came in and he was not good, I was fine with it because I would have rather just tank to get a good draft pick and then use that as draft capital.
Yeah, but at some point, if you're 5 weeks in and you're 1-5, Teddy comes in, you win 6-7 games.
Do you think that? Because early in the season, our schedule was insanely easy. We went 3-0 to start, and then we went 3-3, 4-3, 3-4.
I know, but at some point, like say you win the first 3, then Locke struggles for the next 5 weeks. Teddy eventually is going to come in. You're going to win some games. I don't think you're not going to give. If Drew Lock struggles for a month, you're not giving him another 12 games or 10 games. You know what I'm saying?
I would have been fine with Lock struggling because, again, like I said, we drafted him in the second round. All this talk about Drew Lock being good, whether you saw it or not, give him that opportunity. That's what I wanted. And if we were bad, I would have lived with it because, like I said, you use it as draft capital. Because I don't think we were as aggressive on the QB market this past offseason because we genuinely believe we had a chance at Aaron Rodgers. Because all the talk that draft day was that the Broncos were in high intensity
like
talks
an hour before the draft started
to get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So if we believe that we're going to get Aaron Rodgers this offseason, it is what it is. However, us not starting Drew Lock and Teddy coming in, that's fine. But then now you're putting us in this middle ground where we're not going to have a high draft pick. We're going to have from the 10 to the 15th pick. And that pick's good, sure, but it's not the 4 or the 5 that you could really use to really attract the team to want to trade with you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And at least in this draft class, like I mentioned with I think we were talking about the Broncos actually earlier. Like, this is a draft class where if you are in the middle of the first round, there's going to be quarterbacks available, where last year it was really just Mac Jones who was outside of the top 10.
But you're reaching.
Yeah, but if a quarterback hits, it's not a reach.
Yeah, but
I'm okay reaching on a quarterback. I guess if there's any position you're going to reach on, it's a quarterback.
We took Paxton Lynch 23rd. We took Drew Lock in the 2nd. I'm tired of mediocrity at the quarterback position.
You know who the Broncos are going to draft?
I need a lock.
They're going to draft
not Drew Lock.
Carson Strong.
I don't want us to draft a quarterback.
Well, you're banking on getting an elite quarterback who might not be available.
Matty Ice will be available. Russell Wilson, if they don't fire Pete Carroll, will be available. Aaron Rodgers wins a championship, I do firmly believe he'll retire. If they lose, he'll be available. We're a very enticing location to come play.
Yeah, I think, Russ, even still, I feel like Seattle's going to do everything they can to keep him.
But again, what have they really done to keep him outside of DK
this
and Lockett?
Nothing. They brought in a few offensive linemen. They brought in Gerald Everett.
The offensive line's still mid.
I know, but
Gerald Everett's
it's the first time
mid.
they're trying. Like, they kind of came out because Russ pushed them.
Rightfully so.
100%, as he should have, but we haven't really seen that in the past. And this offseason, he said, I need help, and they kind of did that. In terms of Fangio being fired, that's a tough one for me because is he necessarily the answer, like your future head coach forever? I don't know. The defense has gotten better this year, but they kind of regressed year 1 and year 2, from year 1 to year 2, I should say, and you guys came down in wins.
To be fair, we had a lot of injuries on the secondary.
I feel like guys are always injured.
Michael Ojemudia was our best secondary player last season.
Bryce
Callahan as well, yes. But Michael Ojemudia, who was like
Yeah.
a late round draft pick, who we ended up relying on supremely.
And Bradley Chubb's been hurt basically since
That
draft
too,
day. It
yeah.
seems like.
This season he's been solid.
Yeah, he's been banged up though.
Yeah.
He was on the IR earlier this year.
True.
It's hard. Me and Drew were talking before we got here. You're in such a tough division. You're going to be facing Mahomes and Andy Reid and Herbert and Brandon Staley and Derek Carr. Regardless of where he goes, he's still a top 15 quarterback at the minimum. So I don't hate the idea of kind of zigging while everyone zags and you go for that defensive-minded person. And Fangio's probably the right guy for that. For that mindset you want. If you want a defensive-minded team who's going to have to go after these high-level quarterbacks. But like Drew said, it's going to come down to quarterback. It doesn't matter what coach you have. If it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock or this type of level guys, you're going to be praying for a wild card for the next 10 years. Because if you don't have, you could have the best head coach in the game, but if you don't have a quarterback and an offense that can compete with these guys, you need to have an elite level defense, and it's extremely hard to have an elite level defense year in and year out. The last time we saw it was really Legion of Boom, and even still, you see how quick that could just turn around and evaporate into nothing.